Hi, hello, dear students. Welcome to my solutions lecture number 5. In the previous session, I have discussed about various important terms and concepts related to liquid solutions up to vapor pressure of solutions of liquids in liquids. Now, today, concept is vapor pressure of solutions of solids in liquids. Okay, let us start the class. In this class, we are going to discuss about how the vapor pressure gets changed when a solid is present in a liquid making a solution. And not only that one, what is exactly ideal and non-ideal solutions and the characteristic properties of ideal solutions with graphical representations. And also we will check with the Raoult's law of this vapor pressure of solutions. And what is the difference between ideal and non-ideal solutions? Also with the examples we will check it out. Okay, let us start. So here we are going to discuss about vapor pressure of solutions of solids and liquids, because a solid, if you consider, if it is a glucose, okay, and solvent I am taking is water. So what is glucose is solute. What is water? Water I am taking is solvent. Glucose is solute, and you know that is solid. What happens here? Vapor pressure of solution actually only because of solvent only. So vapor pressure is only due to solvent in this case, and this solute I am considering is a non-volatile also. Non-volatile. So what is the meaning of non-volatile? Means it won't contribute towards the vapor pressure of the solution, but a solvent definitely responsible for exerting the vapor pressure of the solution. What here found is, it's found that vapor pressure of solution is less than the pure liquid. So after that, what is the observation? What is the observation made of the experiment is, after some time, that is vapor pressure of solution they have noticed. Vapor pressure of solution noticed is less than vapor pressure of the solvent. That means pure liquid. You can say pure liquid is solvent water. Pure liquid, solvent, water. So in this observation, what we understand is the vapor pressure of the pure liquid is decreasing after adding a non-volatile solute solid into it. That means we understand that the decrease is happened, in which case the decrease in the vapor pressure we have noticed of solvent, because solvent only responsible for the vapor pressure, and the solvent's vapor pressure is decreasing depends on the quantity of non-volatile solute present in the solution. So the decrease in the vapor pressure of solvent is said to be depends on the quantity of non-volatile, the quantity of non-volatile solute present in the solution. Present in the solution. Here we have few things here. Observe here, we are telling about solvent and also telling about the solution. Solution exerts vapor pressure, and the vapor pressure of the solution is because of the solvent. When it is joined with the solute, the solvent's vapor pressure decreases. Means solute vapor pressure also affected because of solution vapor pressure is affected only because of the solvent when it is mixes with a non-volatile solute. And it is not said to be depending on the nature of the solute, it is only depending on the quantity of the non-volatile solute. Now we'll see one thing here. Non-volatile solute is present in the solution irrespective of its nature. Most important thing here, we have to notice that depends on the quantity of solute in the solution irrespective of its nature, of the nature of it. Okay, so we will take an example here in this. What is the example here is, I am telling. For example, if you take, for example, the decrease in the vapor pressure of water observed. Water vapor pressure is decreases. Vapor pressure decreases in the water by adding 1 mole of sucrose. By adding 1 mole of sucrose, sucrose is also one of the organic substance. This organic substance makes possibilities here. Vapor pressure decreases in water by adding 1 mole of sucrose, I am telling, sucrose to 1 kilogram of water, nearly similar to that of that produced by adding 1 mole of, here understand, we are adding 1 mole of sucrose. Now we are adding 1 mole of urea. 1 mole of urea to again 1 kilogram of water. Understand the thing here, the mass of the solvent in the first experiment is 1 kg. In that we have added 1 mole of sucrose, and which was noticed similar. The experiment is conducted by adding 1 mole of urea to 1 kg of water at the same temperature. At the same temperature. Here, in this example, what we understand is the vapor pressure decreases. The decrease in the vapor pressure is noticed in these two experiments. See, assume in this experiment 1, we have 1 kg of solvent is there, and we have added 1 mole of glucose. And another experiment taken 1 kg of solvent water, 1 kg of solvent water. Here water solvent is nothing but water, and we have added 1 mole of urea in this one. So solvent water here. In the first experiment also solvent is water. What is the noticed is nothing but decrease in the vapor pressure. If you take it is delta P S P dash. This is delta P double dash. So what is this one? This is change, or you can say decrease in vapor pressure of water in the first experiment. Second experiment, delta P double dash is also nothing but decrease in vapor pressure of water, decrease in the vapor pressure of water. Whatever finally they have noticed is both these values became same. That is the meaning of that one. So what is the meaning of this one is the quantity. Earlier we have discussed that is the decrease in the evaporation of solvent depend on the quantity of non-volatile solute present in the solution irrespective of the nature of it. So here the glucose is different, urea is different. So glucose is a different compound. Actually it can find its solubility in water, and urea also find its solubility in water. Both are soluble in water. We have done this different experiments, and initially evaporation of water in the pure state is different, and evaporation of the water after adding glucose, after adding sucrose or urea are different. So these two things are identified as same. That means that irrespective of the nature of that one solute, depending on the quantity of the solute only, this entire evaporation is depending on. So evaporation of the solution is depending on the quantity of the solute, not on the nature of the solute. Okay. Let us see Raoult's law in its general formula. Now we can discuss like this from this above discussion. Raoult's law in its general form can be said as for any solution, for any solution, the partial vapor pressure, the partial vapor pressure of each volatile component in the solution is said to be directly proportional to its mole fraction. Its mole fraction. So what we have understand from this one is P naught, vapor pressure of a non-volatile, a volatile component is there. The solution is directly proportional to its mole fraction. Okay. So what is the vapor pressure of a volatile component? That is equals to, is directly proportional to mole fraction of the component. Okay, this is Raoult's law. Now we are going to discuss about ideal, non-ideal solutions. So hope you understand what is Raoult's law. Raoult's law is nothing but partial vapor pressure of each volatile component is directly proportional to its mole fraction. That is Raoult's law, general formula. Okay. Now we'll talk about ideal and non-ideal, ideal and non-ideal solutions. Ideal and non-ideal solution. So exactly what is ideal solution means the solution which obeys Raoult's law, which obeys Raoult's law is called as ideal solution, what overall concentration ranges at given temperature. The total pressure of an ideal solution definitely can be identified using Raoult's law. So how we will find the total pressure? Total pressure is equals to partial vapor pressure of one component and partial vapor pressure of another component. So according to Raoult's law, this partial vapor pressure of each component is directly proportional to its mole fraction. So as per the first equation, P is equals to P naught into X. So like this, we can write PA and PB for that binary solution as which is equals to PA naught into XA plus PB naught into XB. So here what is PA naught and PB naught is nothing but vapor pressure of the pure components. Okay. PB and PA are the partial vapor pressure of volatile component in the solution. So in the solution, vapor pressure of a component is different, and when in the pure state, the vapor pressure is different. Usually, what we noticed is vapor pressure of the component in the solution is lesser than the vapor pressure of a component in its pure state. Okay. Now we will take an example. We notice that toluene and benzene are forming an ideal solution. So a nearly ideal solution can be obtained by adding toluene and benzene. To benzene, toluene to benzene. Here, what is the main point of the discussion is nothing but in an ideal solution of two components, we have a solution is there, and we are calling that solution is ideal solution. In this, there are two components are there. Component A is there, component B is there. All the attractive forces between A and B molecules or between A and molecules or molecules must be identical, so that escaping tendency of A and B molecules is independent of whether it is surrounded by A molecules or B molecules or varying proportions of A and B molecules. See, what is A? What is B? A and B are the two components. It is a binary solution. These are the A and B are the binary solution components. And if you consider attractive forces between A and B, attractive forces, or also you can say there are intermolecular forces, or between A and A, or that may be between B and B. Whatever the forces are there, forces of attractions, they are attractive forces. Attractive forces must be identical. Must be identical. Then what will happen? Escaping tendency of A and B molecules, independent whether it is surrounded by A molecule or B molecule, varying proportions of A and B molecules. So, for example, if you consider the pure liquid, you consider for pure liquid, A if you take in the mixture, A component if you take, the escaping tendency of A is said to be the same. The for pure liquid A or a pure liquid B, if you take pure liquid B, the escaping tendency, whatever is there, the escaping tendency in solution is said to be, is also said to be same. Or in solution, which is said to be, which is remains same. Okay. For example, escaping tendency of A is escaping tendency of B, both are same in the solution. Then what will happen? Liquids from ideal solution only when they have nearly same molecular size and related constitution, so that they have similar molecular environment in the pure state as well as in the solution. So here what we understand is that to behave like an ideal solution, this is a must and should property of the component. Another one, sizes of A and B should be also similar. Sizes of A and B. Sizes means molecular sizes, I am telling. Molecular sizes also must be nearly same. Then only ideal solution can be obtained. Now, a perfect ideal solution is rare, but many liquids form nearly ideal solutions. We are discussing about the nearly ideal solutions. Why? Because most of the solutions which are not exactly following the Raoult's law, that is why nearly ideal solution only we can use the word in the discussion. So no perfect ideal solution is available in the nature. That's why it's a rare case only the ideal solution, we call it as nearly ideal solution. And we have an example like benzene, toluene, heptane and hexane. Heptane and hexane are said to be, I say, exhibiting the ideal behavior, because here intermolecular forces, whatever we discussed in the points here, are said to be between the same molecule, between these molecules are same and between them also same. That's why these all comes under ideal solution. This mixture is ideal solution. This mixture is also called as ideal solution, like that of our benzene toluene example. Not only that one, we have several ideal solutions are there. Still, we can observe the examples like several ideal solutions. Organic liquids are there. We have ethyl bromide is there. Ethyl bromide is there, and which is mixed with ethyl iodide. Ethyl iodide, which is forming ethyl iodide forming ideal solution. Like that, we have this is the formula, that is C2H5Br plus C2H5I. The another one we have noticed already given, that is benzene and toluene. Benzene and toluene, that is C6H6 plus C6H5CH3. So C7H8 you can write. The another one we have chlorobenzene and bromobenzene. chlorobenzene and bromobenzene. Also an example for this one. Like that. Several examples are there. Okay. Now, these dilute solutions are found to be obey Raoult's law. Thus, they behave as ideal solutions. Why we are discussing about ideal solution means ideal solutions behaves like dilute solutions behave like ideal solutions. Now we'll check the conditions for forming ideal solution. Conditions for forming ideal solution. Now, the two liquids on mixing form ideal solution only. Both have similar structures. So the condition is liquids have almost both have almost similar structures. Similar structures like we have discussed the chlorobenzene, bromobenzene. Not only structures, they must have similar polarity values so that they have similar molecular environment will be there. Another one, both have almost similar molecular sizes. Both have almost similar molecular sizes. Another thing here, both have almost identical intermolecular forces. Both have almost identical intermolecular forces. Okay, then only that ideal solution can be obtained. So both means we are telling about A and B, for A and B components. Now let us check with the characteristics of ideal solution. Characteristics of ideal solution. Here, mixing two substances results in an ideal solution is only possible when the solution obey Raoult's law. The two liquids should obey Raoult's law. Other one, the delta H mixing should be zero. That means there is no heat is absorbed or released during the dissolution. That means no heat is absorbed. No heat is absorbed or released during dissolution. Another one, delta V mixing. When you mix the both the liquids in the various proportions, also there should not be any difference after the formation of solution. That means whenever the volume of A and volume of B are different also, the total volume should be same before and after the mixing. So that means that is the total volume of the solution. The total volume of the solution is equals to the sum of the volume of sum of the volume of pure liquids sum of the volume of the pure liquids mixed to form the solution, mixed to form the solution. Means, for example, you have taken A is 10 ml and B is 10 ml. The total is 20 ml. The 20 ml should come after the preparation of solution also. Otherwise, that is a non-ideal solution. So, what is ideal solution? There should not be any kind of heat absorption or heat release emission takes place when we mix the components. At the same time, the change in the volume of the solution should not take place. So before the preparation of the solution, what is the total volumes of pure liquids A and B you are taking? The total volume should become same after the preparation of solution. That is the ideal solution. Now we'll check with the graphical representations. Now we'll check with the graphical representation of vapor pressure of ideal solutions. Usually what will happen here, vapor pressure increases when the mole fraction increases. This is the statement from the Raoult's law we had observed. So the relation between partial evaporation and mole fraction of ideal solution at a constant temperature we have noticed from the Raoult's law. Now if you check with the graphical representation, any one of the graphical representation, if you observe like this, along the y-axis you have taken the vapor pressure, x-axis you have taken the mole fraction, x-axis you have taken the mole fraction, and the vapor pressure of component A to that of vapor pressure of component B. Suppose this is PB naught, here taken PA naught. So what is the total vapor pressure? That is equals to PA naught into XA plus PB naught into XB. Okay. This is the ideal curve. For example, if you take the mole fraction of A component is 1 in the beginning, its mole fraction, it becomes 0 when the mole fraction of B is high value, 1. Mole fraction of B initially is 0, that has become 1. So mole fraction of A is B is increasing, then automatically what will happen for the second component, this straight line will come. And mole fraction of B is increasing, then it will come like this. This is the curve. Okay, so I'll give you clarity. This. Okay, so this is this line I am drawing for the component 1. This line I am drawing, this is for component 2, dot lines. What we notice here is straight line 1. Here we have a straight line we have obtained. The straight line 1 we have obtained. Plot versus vapor pressure of liquid A and its mole fraction. Vapor pressure of liquid A versus its mole fraction. Okay. In this, what happens? According to Raoult's law, should be straight line when XA is equals to 0. Here, what happens? When XA is equals to 0, then partial pressure of A is 0. When XA is equals to 1 from the graph, then the partial pressure of A is equals to P naught A. Okay. So when mole fraction of liquid A is exactly Xa is equals to 1, then the liquid A in the pure state and vapor pressure is equals to PA naught. So here what we have noticed here is mole fraction of liquid A when Xa is equals to 1, then that is nothing but pure state. That state vapor pressure of the liquid is equals to PA naught. We are shown in the first line. You can say this is the first line. Okay. Now let us check with the straight line 2. Here what happened? The plot of partial vapor pressure of liquid B, PB versus XB we are observing. That means mole fraction of that one we are observing XB. In this case also what we noticed is when XB value is 0, when XB value is 0, PB value became 0. XB is 0. Here we are not understanding anything from the graph, but you can understand from this equation part. That is XB is 0. That time PB value is 0. From the graph now on y-axis we can see. Here you can observe. Now XB is equals to 1. That time partial vapor pressure of the liquid B will become equals to PB naught. That means the pure state its values. That means okay. So you can understand that the vapor pressure of the component is equals to the vapor pressure of the component in pure state when the mole fraction is equals to 1. So what Raoult's law is telling that PA is equals to P naught into P naught A into XA. So when this PA is equals to PA naught, when XA is equals to 1, when PB is equals to PB naught, that is also when XB is equals to 1. This is the condition we have observed. Now, let us check with the straight line number 3. Straight line number 3. Here, you might have observed, in this, we are assuming this thick line is Roman number 3 straight line. Okay, that is for ideal solution. This represents the total vapor pressure of the solution for any composition given is the sum of the vapor pressures of liquids A and vapor pressure of liquid B. So in this line, by joining whatever the PA naught and PB naught from the graph here PA naught and PB naught, if you join PA naught and PB naught, you will get this total vapor pressure, and the straight line also you will get for this ideal solution. Indicates that vapor pressure of various composition of solutions are intermediate between this PA naught and PB naught. This can be obtained when we join this PT is equals to PA plus PB will be obtained by joining PA naught and PB naught in the graph. Okay, but for the different compositions of the components on the solution, the vapor pressure values will be in between PA naught and PB naught. Okay, so this is about the graphical representation. Straight line 1, straight line 2, and even we observed this is the straight line number 3. Okay, now let us understand a question, that is, all form ideal solution, all form ideal solution except we have options. Option A, C2H5Br and C2H5I. The second B option is C2H5Cl and C6H5Br. Okay. Another one, we have C6H6 and C6H5CH3. Another one, that is C2H5I and C2H5OH. Observe here, if we observe all the options, in the first option we have ethyl bromide with ethyl iodide. Second option we have ethyl chloride with bromobenzene. Third option benzene with toluene, and the last option we have ethyl iodide with ethyl alcohol. In this all form ideal solution we are telling ethyl chloride and chlorobenzene also. But when you consider this ethyl iodide and ethyl chloride mixture, this mixture cannot form ideal solution because this ethyl alcohol is there. As you all know that as a peculiar chemical bond is there, ethyl alcohol, it is having intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Intermolecular hydrogen bonding exists between this ethyl alcohol molecules, but there is no such kind of hydrogen bonding is there in ethyl iodide. So if you take ethyl iodide case, so no hydrogen bonding is present in the case of ethyl iodide. So because of this one, this ethyl iodide and ethyl alcohol mixture cannot be considered as ideal solution. Okay. Now, I am to talk about some of the solutions. Non-ideal solutions. I am going to talk about non-ideal solutions now. Or else I'll cancel it. Now we are going to talk about non-ideal solutions. Non-ideal solutions. Okay. What are exactly these non-ideal solutions? Non-ideal solution. There are of two kinds are there actually. Raoult's law. If they are not obeying Raoult's law, we can say they are non-ideal solutions. So solutions which do not obey Raoult's law. Solutions do not obey Raoult's law. Overall concentration ranges at constant temperature, they are called as non-ideal solutions. So they form with a change in the volume. That means volume changes and enthalpy changes. Enthalpy mixing, whatever we told, that is not equals to 0. And delta V mixing is there, the volume mixing, which is also not equals to 0. Then the plot of the total pressure of the solution as mole fraction is not a straight line. So that means vapor pressure versus the mole fraction is not a straight line. It's not a straight line for which solutions? Non-ideal solutions. That means not a straight line means we will get a curve in the case. And moreover, the partial vapor pressure of the component PA is not said to be equals to PA naught into XA for this non-ideal solutions, as well as PB is not equals to PB naught into XB in this case. So that may be less than or this may be greater than. For example, if PA is greater than PA naught into XA, then PB is greater than PB naught into XB, then that solutions we can say they will show positive deviation from the Raoult's law. They will show positive deviation from Raoult's law. Okay. So if the case is different, that means positive deviation means here delta H mixing will definitely will come from greater than 0. That means positive, and delta V mixing also will come greater than 0. That means they are all positive in this case. The other case, what is the other case is nothing but negative deviation. What is the negative deviation? This is PA is less than PA naught and XA like that. So if any other solution which is showing PA which is less than PA naught into XA and PB is showing is less than PB naught into XB, then we can say that solutions are non-ideal solutions with negative deviation from Raoult's law. They show negative deviation from Raoult's law. In that case, delta H mixing will be less than 0, negative. Delta V mixing also will come less than 0. That means they will show negative deviation from the Raoult's law. Okay. Now we will see the examples for this one. For example, ethanol and cyclohexane. You take ethanol, that is C2H5OH. This we will call it as ethanol, and which is mixes with the cyclohexane. Cyclohexane. Like this it will be there. It's nothing but C6H12 only. Okay. Actually, they are deviating from the ideality. That means they are deviating from the ideality. They will show positive deviation. Here, what will happen in the case of pure ethanol? You all know they are intermolecular hydrogen bonds are there. Intermolecular hydrogen bonds are there. And there are strong attractive force between ethanol molecules will exist because of this one. And moreover, there are said to be having the same size also. Okay. And while that of you take a cyclohexane, molecules are not said to be having intermolecular hydrogen bonding, and they reduce the distance between the ethyl alcohol molecules, and escaping tendency of ethyl alcohols increases because of this cyclohexane. That means what is the function of the cyclohexane here is, when you add the cyclohexane to ethyl alcohol, the cyclohexane function is to break the hydrogen bonds between ethanol molecules. So what will happen, that time consequently the escaping tendency, because of that one, what will happen, the escaping tendency increases for which one? increases for these ethyl alcohol molecules. Okay, it makes the partial vapor pressure of ethyl alcohol is higher than the expected if the solution was ideal. So when the solution is said to be ideal, then the escaping tendency should be same for ethyl alcohol in its original state and in the solution, but it is changing because the hydrogen bonds are breaking between the ethyl alcohol molecules due to this cyclohexane. You can check the pictorial representation, we can check it out. That is, I'm writing one ethyl alcohol molecule having a hydrogen bond with another ethyl alcohol molecule. But here oxygen is partially negative, hydrogen partially positive. Okay. So like this, one more I am writing. Oxygen negative, hydrogen positive. Hydrogen is positive. Oxygen is negative from ethyl alcohol. So here what will happen? Once the cyclohexane is coming in between the ethyl alcohol molecules, cyclohexane, when the cyclohexane is coming in between the ethyl alcohol molecules, what will happen? The distance between the ethyl alcohol molecules, because of hydrogen bonding, increases. When the distance is increasing, what will happen? Automatically the vapor pressure increases. So therefore what will happen? Vapor pressure of ethyl alcohol is said to be rising in this case. Automatically what will happen? The vapor pressure increases. It deviates from the ideal behavior. Like that, we have several examples are there. This is an example. I think you understand this example. Several examples like ethyl alcohol is there. Ethyl alcohol with water. Ethanol and water is an example for positive deviation. And ether with acetone. Ether with acetone is also an example. Carbon disulfide and acetone is also forming this positive deviation. And carbon tetrachloride with methanol and acetone with benzene. Acetone and benzene also forming this positive deviation. While that of carbon tetrachloride and chloroform forms this positive deviation. Even we have acetone with ethyl alcohol or ethanol is producing positive deviation. These are the main things here, learning about the positive deviation and the examples. What is positive deviation means? PA is greater than PA naught into XA. Like that, PB is greater than PB naught into XB. That is happening because the nature is changing and the type of the bonding is changing. One is having hydrogen bonding, another one is not having, means that may disrupt the hydrogen bonds between the other molecules and makes the escaping tendency of the molecules greater. That means increases the changes in the enthalpies and the volumes. Now we will check with the another one here. Yeah. Now graphical representation of vapor pressure of Non-ideal solutions with positive deviation, how it will be there, we'll check it off. For this ethyl alcohol and all the waste stone and all these things. So graphical representation for solution showing a positive deviation from Raoult's law. Earlier we told that the graph is there, the graph along y-axis, along x-axis, how we are taking this graphical representation. It's very clear that when you are taking the vapor pressure on the y-axis, mole fraction on the x-axis, mole fraction on the x-axis, what will happen? Instead of getting the straight line, we will get the curves. Example, if you take xa is equals to 1, it may become xa is equals to 0 after the mixing. Then you got the curve like this instead of a straight line. So actually it should be like this in ideal behavior, but it came a curve like this. The same way, if you observe xb is equals to 1 for the second component, it has become 0. In that case, this curve came indifferently than the ideal behavior. So how the curve came, I will show it. Actually, it should be like this. Okay. For the ideal solution, the curve, the straight line should be a dotted line joining PA0 and PB0. But that is also coming a different way like this. Okay. That means this is the third straight line, third curve. The first one we have shown, this is the first one. This is the second one. Now, what is the first one is showing? Observe, what is the first one is showing? That vapor pressure of liquid A and its mole fraction is not straight line. So vapor pressure PA versus XA is not a straight line. Not a straight line, and it is showing a positive deviation above the dotted line. Dotted line is here is ideality, and above that one it is coming. Likewise, the partial pressure of liquid B and its mole fraction is also not a straight line that we have observed in the second curve. So PB versus XB. So you see, here if you write PA, here if you write PB. Okay, so when PB is equals to PB naught, when PA is equals to PA naught, when the mole fractions are 1, but here they are not becoming same. So it is also not a straight line. This is also a curve we are getting. Okay. And coming to the third one, if you observe, third Roman, what is total vapor pressure of the solution? What is the total vapor pressure of the solution? PA plus PB. PA plus PB is there. That is value is coming. PT is total vapor pressure is greater than PA plus PB is coming. Or you can say P total is greater than PA naught into XA plus PB naught into XB is coming. Okay. Because of this one, what we understand is that there is a non-ideality. That means non-ideality is noticed. Escaping tendency of one of the liquids and components is increasing because of the other liquid component is coming in between the molecules and changing the entire scenario of ideality of these solutions, called as positive deviations. That means the solutions which show positive deviation because of the escaping tendency is increasing for one of the components in the mixture. Okay, that is the most important point noticed. Another thing, we will check it now, that is negative deviation from Raoult's law. Next, solutions will show negative deviation from Raoult's law. Negative deviation from Raoult's law. So in general, the solutions which show negative deviation from ideal behavior, in this, vapor pressure of the solution is lower than the ideal solution of same composition and similar conditions. Okay, so this is because vapor pressure of each liquid is less than that would be expected on the basis of Raoult's law. That means PA value is there is said to be less than that of PA naught into XA, or PB is, if you take, is less than PB naught into XB. Okay, in this, vapor pressure expected from the Raoult's law is said to be greater than the vapor pressure of the component. Means vapor pressure is decreasing. In the positive deviation case, what is happening? Vapor pressure is increasing for the components. In such solution, what will happen? Containing A and B, we have negative deviation. Attractive forces between the molecules greater than the attractive forces between themselves. That means in this solution, the reason is nothing but attractive forces between A, B, whatever is there, A, B components said to be greater than attractive forces between AA and BB molecules. Attractive forces between AA and BB molecules. Okay, then what will happen? Escaping tendency of both the liquids will be reduced. Another important point here noticed is escaping tendency of both liquids decreases. So when the escaping tendency decreases, we can understand that vapor pressure decreases. Therefore, vapor pressure decreases for the liquids. And because of that, what will happen, sir? It is not said to be obeying Raoult's law. Solution actually usually showing negative deviation. Heat is liberated during the formation of such solutions. Here, in these solutions, heat is said to be liberated. Means delta H value will come less than 0. Means it's negative. Because of this one, bonds, the new bonds are formed, are stronger in this case. So, leverage formation of solutions, because new bonds formed are stronger and decrease in the volume. So here, new bonds, whatever is there between A and B, new bonds formed are taking or releasing energy which are stronger, and it reduces, which will lead to the decrease in the volume, decrease in the volume of the solution. So that's why delta H mixing is how it is less than 0. Delta V mixing also will become less than 0. Is negative deviation comes in this case, because volume of the solution is lesser than the sum of the volumes of individual components A and B. That's the negative solution, negative deviation will be observed. So the liquid shows negative deviation is said to be exhibiting delta H mixing is delta H mixing is negative. Negative means heat is liberated. Heat is liberated, and delta V mixing is also negative, means volume decreases. Volume decreases. We have a best example is there in this case. Best example is there. That is nothing but chloroform and acetone. Chloroform and acetone. That is CH3, CO, CH3. CH3. Yeah, CH3, CO, CH3. This is first one is CHCl3 is chloroform, and second one is nothing but acetone. In this case, what will happen? There is a negative deviation is noticed, which is said to be occurring when we mix the chloroform and acetone together. Hydrogen bonding occurs between chloroform molecules and acetone. So here, between these hydrogen bonding is said to be observed. Like this. So this is the hydrogen bonding is noticed. And there is a new stronger attractive force between chloroform and acetone molecules. Actually, compared to that, attractive forces of chloroform molecules and acetone molecules are there. So the bond is between chloroform and acetone becomes stronger when compared to the two chloroform molecules or two acetone molecules. That's why stronger attractive forces actually decrease the escaping tendency of both chloroform and acetone, make the partial vapor pressure of each liquid is less than that based on Raoult's law. So here what will happen? Partial vapor pressure of chloroform is said to be less than the partial vapor pressure of chloroform in its pure state into its mole fraction. That will be applicable for acetone also. Therefore, the total vapor pressure of the solution will be less than the predicted. So here what will happen? Total vapor pressure is less than the predicted one, that is PA plus PB. And not only that one, we have several examples are there for such kind of negative deviation showing molecules, mixers. One is methanol. Not only the above example, we have methanol and acetic acid. So that is the possibility is there, and we have noticed already that is chloroform and acetone, and also we have noticed that acetic acid and pyridine. Acetic acid and pyridine. Also, there is the possibility of negative deviation. HCl and water. Not in that one. HNO3 and water. acetone and aniline. Acetone and aniline. These are the examples. So here what will happen in this case, we have in this case this tendency is decreasing. The escaping tendency is decreasing. Now we will see a graphical representation for such kind of negative deviation. Graph for negative deviation. Graphical representation for negative deviation. As usual, all along the y-axis we will take the vapor pressure. Along the x-axis we will take the mole fraction. Mole fraction we will take along x-axis, and xa is equals to 1, that has become 0, and xb is equals to 0, that is actually in the beginning it is 1 in this case. And usually what will happen, there is a straight line should come like this. As per the ideal behavior, the straight lines first with the dot lines will write ideality, and after that we'll check with the curves. The curves will come below the ideal curve like this, like this, like this. So here what we have noticed is nothing but we have different straight lines are different curves are there. These are I am writing Romans third one. So here we have PA naught. Here we have PB naught. If you take the first curve, the plot versus liquid A, evaporation of liquid A to the mole fraction, which is PA versus its mole fraction, is not a straight line. It's not a straight line. Showing negative deviation means below the ideality it is showing. That means dotted line is ideal behavior. Similarly, if you take the second one, that is a PB versus XB, also is not noticed as a straight line, is a curve, is a straight line, is not a straight line, indicating that negative deviation is showing negative deviation from the ideality. And third one, if you observe, the total pressure is noticed for the solution is also showing negative deviation. That means PA plus PB total is there, which is greater than P total of the solution, showing negative deviation. So this is a picture. The graphical representation will come like this because of vapor pressure is decreasing due to decrease in the escaping tendency of the molecules. Now we will take an example, that is a non-ideal solution. Now this is the discussion which has got over positive and negative deviation. Now we'll see a problem. A non-ideal solution was prepared by mixing 30 ml chloroform and 50 ml acetone the volume of mixture will be, the volume of mixture will be, we have options greater than 80 ml, less than 80 ml, equal to 80 ml, that is none of these. You observe the air giving chloroform and acetone. As most of you know, acetone and chloroform, what we have discussed here, we have discussed about the chloroform and acetone with a hydrogen bonding concept here. So from this, what you have noticed is they comes under the negative deviation. So it will be less than 80 ml. So what is delta V mixing for this one is less than 0, means 80 ml, less than 80 ml will come. B is the right answer, because chloroform and acetone attractive forces are becoming stronger and stronger due to hydrogen bonding, and that attractive forces are dominating the attractive forces between the same type of molecules they have. This is the reason we are going with the second option, which is less than 80 ml is the right answer for this question. Now we will take another thing. Okay, so this is the answer for this question. Okay, let us come back to our discussion. So dear students, in this session we have successfully discussed about the vapor pressure caused by the liquids, vapor pressure caused by the liquids in the solutions, and what is exactly Raoult's law, and which solutions are said to be obeying Raoult's law, which solutions are not said to be obeying Raoult's law, ideal and non-ideal separately discussed with their definitions as well as the reason behind the solution showing negative deviation, solution showing a positive deviation, and examples with a graphical representations and hydrogen bonding ideas also we have discussed. And finally, we have noticed that hydrogen bonding plays a vital role in the vapor pressure concepts of these liquids, because the liquids are said to be volatile liquids, but the volatility of the liquids will be changes when the liquid is joining with another liquid in making a solution. Okay, hope you understand this session. We will definitely come back with we'll bounce back with stunning information in the solutions chapter in the next lecture. That is nothing but colligative properties and Raoult's law with the relative lowering of vapor pressure. We are waiting for that one since last session, and that we will present in the next lecture of solutions from our Race Academy. Okay, thank you very much. We will meet in the next session.